I really appreciated your piece for Zeteo talking about the redistricting fight.
Thank you.
Because you warn about the fact that this is not just Texas, that other states like Ohio are looking into this. I think what was another one, like Kentucky or something. Like just what are the other states that are like looking at what Texas is doing, seeing what Gavin Newsom's response has been in terms of adding 5 seats here in California, and you've got these other Republican legislatures that are like, oh, let's keep going.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. The piece, I believe, is titled Republicans Aren't Gunning for 5 congressional seats. They're aiming to steal 42. That was not a number I picked out of thin air. The number comes from a conversation between Steve Bannon and Alex DeGrasse, a veteran GOP strategist. They were on Steve Bannon's increasingly aptly named War Room podcast about 2 weeks ago. And what DeGrasse was laying out to Steve Bannon is that the GOP effectively has a 3-pronged strategy to, yes, steal 42 seats. Now, I want to say from the outset, the math is bullshit and they can't get 42 seats, but it is going to be a lot more than 5. And so to quickly lay it out for you, the 3-pronged strategy, the first is redistricting on steroids. They've already succeeded in Texas. They're going to Indiana and Missouri. They can both get at least 1 seat out of those 2 states. They want to go to Florida, where they could net another 2 to 3. And they're also now pressuring Ohio, which by state law has to redo their maps anyway. And if the White House is successful in their pressure campaign, they could get another 2 to 3 there. So that's where you see the first tranche that's somewhere in the ballpark of like 10 to 14-ish seats. Now, in the next 2 aspects of the strategy, I've been talking about it with friends and comparing it to like the 3 Little Pig houses. And what I mean by that is that first tranche I just talked about, that's the brick house. That's the one where actually, yes, they absolutely can have a successful power grab here. And then there's the stick house and there's the hay house. The stick house.
As someone with a toddler who's very into 3 Little Pigs, I'm here for it.
So the stick house is probably not going to work, but could theoretically work. And that is if SCOTUS guts or significantly decreases Section 2 of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And so for those of you who aren't freaks like me, Section 2 demands that state houses take into account race when forming districts.
Right.
Which is to say that, like, if in Louisiana, for example, where 30% of the population is Black, you can't force them all into one district and only give them that 1 seat. But now there is a challenge to a state map in Louisiana, and it's going to be before the court in the spring. It's called Louisiana versus Calais, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, if they gut it, then you're looking at potentially 26 other Black majority congressional districts. Almost all of them exist in the South, and they could be redrawn, and that could be a whole world of hurt for the Democrats.
So this is the piece of the Voting Rights Act that says you cannot, that basically you have to like take race into consideration and the long-standing suppression of the Black vote because of Jim Crow, slavery, and whatnot. I mean, and effectively the Voting Rights Act already was gutted. But this is like, it was like the middle was taken out. This is like, let's like hollow it out even more.
Yes. So that, I wouldn't even say it's 50-50. It's unclear. I don't know if SCOTUS will have the stomach to do this, but I don't know, guys. We're in the bad place. And then finally, the third leg, the third tranche of this strategy, which is just never gonna fucking happen. This is the straw house. And that's Donald Trump doing a new census that excludes illegal immigrants. So one, the census itself is not going to happen, this new census, because it's blatantly unconstitutional. So let's put that out there first. But 2, the other thing that's crazy is Republicans think that if they redo the census, they could get like 20, 30, 40 seats the Democrats have stolen with illegal immigrants. Guys, we have researched. We have data on this. Pew Research put out a study a couple of years ago, and they said if you take out all undocumented Americans from the census, it barely affects the Electoral College. I think it's California would lose 1 seat, and then Florida and Texas lose 1 seat each. So that one, they're just literally smoking crack.
Oh, okay, but counterpoint, here's Stephen Miller saying illegals have helped Democrats steal elections.
Democrats have stolen, depending upon how you count it, and no one really knows the number for sure, right? No one knows, right? But just being conservative, Democrats have stolen 20 to 30 House seats by counting illegal aliens in the census. I mean, just think about that for a second. They stole 20 or 30 House seats by counting illegal aliens in the census. And now you have Democrats talking about, oh, Republicans can't change their congressional maps? You have literally brought invaders into this country by the tens of millions to rig the results of the census and the apportionment of our congressional seats.
What's the expression?
Like a butthole sat on a lemon and is talking.
What's the expression? Never attribute to malice what can be explained away by stupidity. Don't get me wrong. I know that Stephen Miller, Santa Monica fascist, is an evil, racist human being. But I don't know if in this case it's him being evil or if he's genuinely just dumb as a brick and thinks that if you redo the census, you can actually net 30, 40 seats.
No, he's doing what MAGA and Trump, what he's great at doing, actually, is creating a narrative, right? This has been happening, ergo it justifies our power grab. Because even though, as you mentioned, which actually kind of allays some of my fears in the straw house scenario of, because it is really important that people who live in a particular district get representation. So yeah, but I'm glad to know that even if the census were redrawn, that it wouldn't drastically change everything. But anyway, I guess the question is, last question for you is, where do you think this all goes? Do you think this fight fire with fire strategy that Newsom's been laying out is a valiant one? Or do you believe that it'll just, it'll give them more fodder to further gerrymander things? He's pitching it as a kind of a last ditch attempt. This is the last battle, 2026. Otherwise, we're going to get screwed. What is your sense from what you've written and what you've researched?
Oh, it's a race to the bottom. It's really bad. But I think Democrats have no choice at this point. One of the things I mentioned in the piece is that even if the Dems put the pedal to the metal and try and redistrict, try and gerrymander as aggressively as possible, they're still they can't beat Republicans just because you got a couple of different issues. One, so many states have turned over their districting to independent commissions. You've got to change state constitutions. You have to hold elections in certain states. And then so Gavin can technically maybe get, say, 5 seats to counter Texas, but then there aren't really many other opportunities for pickups. New York is going to be a long, long slog.
Right.
Wes Moore indicated over the weekend he's maybe open, actually more than indicated. He said he's open to redistrict in Maryland, but that's only 1 seat. So the long and the short is both sides are racing to the bottom. I don't see there's a way to avert this, to dodge this. And at the end of the day, Republicans are going to still get 5, 7 more seats than Democrats could possibly obtain.
Right. I mean, and it's also kind of a pitch to run in what seem to be uncompetitive districts, right? Run in these red districts, run independents in red districts, run different kinds of folks in the red districts. I don't know. I'm just sort of strategizing ahead of time. But yeah, it is scary to know that they have more seats to cheat us out of than we have seats to cheat them out of. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.